Shut up and listen to the songs.
Hello and welcome to Shut Up and Listen to the Songs with me, Ben Wilson, your new podcast for all things listening. Music, records, record stores, life stories, all the wonderful gems that music brings. It's one of the primary joys, one of the driving things, and yes, it can be pretentious, it can be confusing, but yeah, we're here to kind of guide people and self-deprecate about all of the wonderful things that being a music enthusiast can involve. So yes, I hope you join me for the journey. There's going to be a lot of learning. There's going to be a few boobs dropped. But yeah, let's go. So, to start off, a little bit about myself. I'm a 40-year-old white male, as you can probably tell, and I know what you're thinking. Thank God those middle-class, middle-aged white males are getting a platform to express their views. We certainly do need more of those. But I've been living in London for about 15 or so years now. That's where I met my wife. That's where we've had our little lad who'll probably be making an appearance. But a longer relationship with that, in fact, one of my first relationships is with music, is with records. And I've been collecting records now for over 20 years. It's always been that case in the past 20 years that vinyl is making a comeback. And it's like, yeah, because with people who love music, it never went away. It's the ultimate physical media for records. If you consider that the unit of selection for music is the album, as in it's a document that will just live on through time, through fashions, through trends. Great albums on vinyl are just, they're the last word, really. And so that has always been a wonderful experience, just to be digging through crates, to be going to jumble sales, to be going to charity shops, to see what other people have bought and they have in their collections, to hear about the records they really want, to hear about the ones that got through their fingers. This is what we really want to go into on Shut Up and Listen to the Songs. And you're probably wondering why this podcast is called Shut Up and Listen to the Songs. After much contemplation, all of the other names I could have chosen for this podcast series, like Vinyl Tap or The Needle Drop or 33 and 1/3, they were all obviously taken. But I was watching the Studio Ghibli movie Porco Rosso with my son the other day, and there's this wonderful scene where the reporter is interviewing the main character, and he's talking over this music performance, this lovely song sung in French, and the stereotypical bad guy grabs this reporter and photographer and takes him to a table and he goes, "Poof! Now shut up and listen to the songs," which is ultimately what we should be doing. Yeah, so hopefully this is going to enhance your experience. But yeah, I can't not acknowledge that every moment you listen to this, you're not listening to music. So I hope that this will enhance your listening experience when you go back and enjoy music.
Shut up and listen to the songs.
So, where to start? I thought, as we're all getting to know each other, that it'd be really quite nice just to have a quick look to see what's on my now playing rack. As somebody who loves taking out records that I haven't seen in a while, that I haven't listened to, and think, oh, this is wonderful, I need to play this again, this is really great. I take them out, I give them a spin, and I put them on my now playing bit of the shelf storage unit, and they rarely go back. It's one of my least favourite things as a vinyl enthusiast is putting the records back in the collection. I'm really bad at doing it. It's just such a pain. Compared to the ease of getting them out and the enjoyment, the idea of, oh, this is going back in, just rarely happens. So yeah, I've got a few things out at the moment, to kind of give you like a flavour of what I'm listening to at the moment, and yeah, where we'll go with the sort of thing. So the first thing up is REM's Up, which was recently reissued as a 25th anniversary edition. I love the albums from their later era. They've got such like emotional depth and warmth, and listening to this album again is wonderful compared to when I listened to it as a 16-year-old, because for all the characters that Michael Stipe wrote in there, I've now lived through a lot of them, and so yeah, this has particularly strong emotional resonance. The next record here, we've got a greatest hits album by Steely Dan. This has got a beautiful black and red streak artwork, and it's got just really great classic rock hits. Do It Again, Reeling in the Years, My Old School, Showbiz Kids, Pretzel Logic, Black Friday, Peg, obviously, and Josie. Yeah, I've got into Steely Dan a lot last year. I got the Asia reissue, and yeah, I'm into a big Steely Dan phase at the moment. I've got an original soundtrack to the old Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory movie, the Gene Wilder one. Yeah, I've been really enjoying the Wonka revival, and this is one of my favourite records, with just absolutely wonderful scores, lyrics and music by Leslie Bruce's and Anthony Newley. Anthony Newley, wow. Arranged and conducted by Walter Scharf. Yeah, brilliant. Me and the lad are really enjoying this at the moment. An old one, an old album, but I'd never seen it before on vinyl, is Nelly Furtado's Loose. There are some bangers on here. I think as a pop album in the early noughties or the first decade of the century, this is right up there with the very best, and that is a hill I will die on. I've really enjoyed this since I got it recently, and yeah, everyone needs a pop banger once in a while. Probably the other end of the spectrum, I've got John Martin's Solid Air. It's a 2013 reissue. It sounds just absolutely gorgeous. Not only the songwriting, his performances, but the musical arrangements are just so great. They really are. This is an all-time favorite, and definitely an essential record for any collection. Kind of more on the nostalgia trip. I was in a record store in Soho the other week, and they had a copy of Now That's What I Call Music 26. And considering that there's 100 plus more volumes, this is not only an early one, but very, very nostalgic of my childhood. I had this on CD, I believe, or it may have been tape. And there are some absolute classics on here. I'm looking at it. There's Go West by the Pet Shop Boys, Right Here by SWV, Boom Shake the Room by Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. We've got Two Princes by the Spin Doctors. We've got The Sidewinder Sleeps Tonight by REM. I mean, that's an absolute classic. We've got Distant Sun by Crowded House. Again, I fell in love with brilliant guitar music through this album. Creep by Radiohead. I wonder what happened to them. Meatloaf's I Would Do Anything for Love, but I won't do that. And then this is the fun side. Record 2, side 1. We've got Hadaway's What Is Love, amazing. Mr. Vane by Culture Beat. Boom Shakalak by Apache Indian. Feels Like Heaven by Urban Cookie Collective. Too Young to Die by Jamiroquai. I think I bought the Jamiroquai album off the back of this, and I was really fond of it. And yeah, there's some other great artists. There's some Bjork, there's some Lenny Kravitz. There's That's the Way Love Goes by Janet Jackson, which I'm really soft for. So yeah, that's great. Moving on to something a bit more contemporary, we've got Johnny Flynn and Rob McFarlane's The Moon Also Rises, which came out last year, and I think it's my favourite album of last year. I think as modern records go, this is it. This is the pinnacle. It's on the Dinked Edition label. They've released it on a Galaxy Orange and Black vinyl, and it's got an exclusive print that's signed, and it's got a bonus 7-inch. But it's the album itself, with all the fancy bells and whistles. The music is just amazing. Yeah, I may do a deep dive into this one later, but I'm loving it. Also released last year on Deutsche Grammophon, a symphonic celebration of Joe Hisashi's work. This is music from the Studio Ghibli films of Hayao Miyazaki. It's performed by the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. It covers lots of the scores from The Wind Rises, Ponyo, Nautica, Kiki's Delivery Service, Castle in the Sky, Porco Rosso, mentioned twice already, Spirited Away, My Neighbor Totoro, and my favourite score at the moment, I think it's the score from Princess Mononoke. It's just absolutely incredible, so moving. We've also got a copy of Air's Moon Safari. I think this is an early noughties reissue. Obviously, it's just a Stonewall classic, and I think I brought this out at dinner time the other night. So we're looking forward to going to see them play this album at the London Palladium in a couple of months' time. So, yeah, it's never a bad time to listen to another all-time classic. And finally, another one that I've just pulled out. I've been listening to Ali Farkatore's Voyager. This is on the World Circuit Records, and I think it's just a collection of offcuts and previously unreleased gems. I'm not sure when this came out, but it is fun. 2023. Wonderful. Yeah, I've been really enjoying this. So, as I say, that kind of gives you a bit of a flavour of the sorts of music that I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be enthusing about. And yeah, there'll be lots of idiosyncratic things. There'll be, as I say, hills that I'm prepared to die on, and there'll be things that I'm kind of like, well, I'm not that bothered about that. So I think to wrap up this introductory episode, it's just to welcome you to the podcast. There's going to be all sorts of things. There's going to be reviews. There's going to be deep dives into artists and into albums. There's going to be a bit of tech stuff and science about hi-fi and setup and your listening experience, whether you're on the go, whether you're at home. We're going to be speaking with people, definitely record store owners. I'm going to be speaking to friends, family. I'd love to speak to some musicians. That would be really great. And also, I'd quite like to do an essential collection. So as each edition goes by, we're just putting down another classic record in the collection to reference and go back to and enjoy. So I hope I've not wanged on too much. I'm sure I have. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to sharing a light-hearted, fun, enthusiastic journey. I've got some really fun episodes planned that I really look forward to sharing with you. So I hope you stick around and I hope you enjoy them. Until then, take care. Bye.
Shut up and listen to the songs.